This video is called Insights from TESOL International in Atlanta, Georgia. This video is called Insights from TESOL International 2019. The reason I'm recording that video for you is to share with you my experiences and give you insights from that trip that I would like you to benefit from in your professional journey as English language teaching professionals, whether you're an examiner, you're a teacher trainer. There are so many things that you can learn from an experience like this. And I thought it could be helpful if I share some of those experiences with you. Number one, networking. Whether you're attending a conference in your local governorate or in Cairo, for example, in our annual conference, TESOL at the AUC campus in Fifth Settlement, or whether you're traveling abroad to an Arab country or a foreign country to attend a conference, in all of these professional opportunities, you have a golden opportunity to network with people, network with fellow professionals. That means you need to, tip number one, have a good number of business cards with you. The business card should have your name, phone number, email address, and affiliation, of course, so you can exchange business cards with you wherever you go. That's super important. Tip number two, when you network, you have to have a well-developed set of communication skills. The communication skills means your body language should be very friendly, smiling all the time, saying hi to those you know and those you don't know, and greeting everyone in the conference, and also be encouraging and taking initiative to introduce yourself and your affiliation and your country, where you're from, why you're here, whom you're with, what are you doing here, whether you're presenting or not. Maybe if you have a presentation, you can invite the person to your presentation. So for me this year, I had a presentation at the affiliates colloquium yesterday. So I was inviting everyone I ran through from day one to come to my presentation. Same thing with the TESOL booth. I stood at the TESOL booth for a couple of hours on Thursday morning. So I was announcing that to everyone whom I met 2 or 3 days before, since I came here basically, and asking people to stop by the TESOL booth in the affiliates area where they can get some goodies. So I invited them to come for some giveaways, gifts from Egypt, and I did buy some gifts from Egypt at my own expense from Khan el-Khalili. These represent Egypt. I bought the flags, I bought the Egyptian huge flag. Why did I do all of this? Because guys, we're Egyptians. Like it or not, Egypt is our mother, it's our country. You won't feel how much you love Egypt until you leave it for a few days or a month or for any period. You will actually, literally, I'm a person who cries on the airplane. Maybe my friends don't know that about me. But at the moment the plane leaves and takes off, I cry. I cry because I'm leaving my homeland. I'm leaving my roots. I'm leaving my children. I'm leaving my family. I'm leaving my memories. I'm leaving all the faces I love. Maybe you don't know how much you love Egypt, but you do. You won't realize that unless you leave it for a few days or whatever. Then you feel how much Egypt is dear to you. And this is who you are. It's your identity. Everyone who asks you, where are you from? What is the answer you say? You say, I'm Egyptian. But you should be proud. And we have every reason to be proud. So back to networking. I know I drifted away a little bit, but it's okay. For networking, as I said, you need to have the business cards. Tip number one, you need to be friendly and managing your communication skills really well in terms of body language, smiling. Also have your business cards accessible. I'm having them here in the upper zip. So whoever asks for a business card, I ask them to unzip my bag, get one, and zip it back for me. That makes them laugh. Okay, now tip number two, or insight number two. You need to have good organizational and time management skills, which start with you. Before you come to the conference, you need to check out the program online or the mobile app. If the conference has a mobile app, you need to create your own schedule for the conference. And this applies to every single conference, whether it's a 1 or 2 or 3 day event. Make a schedule, which means you know on the first day which event you're going to attend in the early morning, which plenary, which speech. Then you move on to the next one. So you know your schedule every step of the way. This will make you well organized, knowing where you're heading next, arranging transportation of movement or commuting time, because sometimes in big conferences like the ones we're in now, the distance between buildings is too big. But the distance, for example, between building A and building B is huge, which it needs from you at least, let's say, 10 to 15 minutes to move from one building to the other. And then you have to check out where the room that you're going to. That takes a lot of time too. So you need to know your schedule and leave a distance for commuting in between sessions. That's number one. If you're a presenter, you need to know where your room is from day one. So you can invite people to come and tell them about the room number and the building number. This will facilitate things for you. Also, for your presentation day, you need to have your handout. You need to have all the flyers you might need. You need to have a backup of your presentation on a memory stick. Because sometimes technology gets stupid, and the person who has your presentation, if you're doing a group presentation like the one I was doing, he might lose it, or he might have a problem with the laptop. So you need to have a backup of your presentation on a flash memory, just in case. What else? With time management and organizational skills, you need to minimize time wasted on social media as much as possible. You have fun, yeah, but you need to get on social media for a purpose and minimize the time wasted on that as much as you can. What else? The next tip is number 3 is have fun. You go shopping. In between the sessions, you have to, as part of your time management skills, have lunch time, breakfast time. You need to visit the exhibition hall in every single event you attend, every single conference. The exhibition hall where you find exhibitors and sponsors presenting their materials, books, stuff like this. For TESOL International, for example, there is that tip that I can give you. It's a golden tip, really. There are some publishers who have something called a free sample request form. Sample request form. If you're interested in the materials provided by one of the sponsors or publishers, you can ask them for a sample application form where you fill out your information. They have a list of all the different topics and grade levels and all the materials they have. You tick, 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 check whatever you want, and then fill out your information, your home or business address in Egypt, your email address, and most likely they will mail that to you for free in Egypt. So that's a good tip for you. Another tip that you can really do, and this will be wonderful, is keeping a daily journal. You can keep a daily journal on your mobile or a paper journal where you can record on a daily basis what happened from the morning to the evening. Also for myself, I keep a record of what I spent, the money I spent every single day, because I know the budget I'm coming with and the budget I want to leave with. So I write every single penny that I spent. I write down every single person I met and whether or not I have a card from that person. And most importantly, follow through with your relationships, with the professional relationships that you start here. You need to follow through, communicate with those people. Actually, one of the things I did was I opened my Facebook page right on the spot, and I asked the person whom I became friends with to write their names, and I send them friend request or they send me a friend request. And we become Facebook friends right on the spot. That's a good tip you can do to minimize the number of distractions that you might have, of losing that person, or to facilitate the professional relationship getting started. What else? Final remarks. Final remarks that comes from the heart. Guys, when you leave Egypt to attend a conference or to do anything, from the moment you step into the airport and you get in contact with foreigners, you are representing Egypt. They see Egyptians in you. I'm talking especially for Muslim women who are wearing hijab. You need to know that this is a crown on your head which reflects you as an Arab, Muslim, Egyptian, everything. So you need to be at your best behavior. You need to be as friendly as possible. You need to be as welcoming and talkative and wonderful as possible, because people see Egyptians in you. Also for the guys, for everyone, remember that we're not angels. It's normal for people to stereotype. I know we're all against stereotyping, but like it or not, if you meet someone from any country, you most likely say all the people in that country are the same. That's a typical whatever that country, that national is. That is the same thing for Egyptians and Arabs. You leave an image. You are carrying a responsibility on your shoulders for all Egyptians and Arabs and Muslims. So you have to realize that and make sure that you leave a good impression. And remember, some of these people you meet only once in your life. You might not meet them again. Leave a mark in their hearts, in their souls. And one final advice for my fellow Egyptian ELT professionals: the secret formula for success is sincerity, الإخلاص. لو حضرتك you work from your heart, you teach from your heart, you love people from your heart, you give people everything from your heart, everything will come back again to you in different forms. مش لازم in the same way that you give away. It will come back at you in life, in your kids, in your work, in your family, in your health, in your profession, in your workplace. It will come back at you. Just make sure that you give away from your heart all the love that you can. What you give away is what you get. What you send is what you receive. Spread the message of love. Spread the message of love and peace, and all of those will come back at you. I love you all. I miss you all. I love Egypt. I miss my kids. I miss every one of my friends. I want to give every single Egyptian a hug, and all the best. I hope you can benefit from this. See you guys in Egypt in a week. Bye.